Life is like a breath. It appears for a moment and then fades away. But in that brief moment, God can reveal eternal truths that change us forever. Before I begin sharing my experience, I want to invite you to journey with me. If what you hear touches your heart or reminds you of something you have been through, please share it in the comments. I would love to hear your story. And if you want to keep walking with me through testimonies like this one, I warmly invite you to subscribe so we can grow together in faith and hope. It all began on what I thought would be a simple day. I was going in for a routine appendix surgery, something so ordinary, something people do every day. I wasn't afraid. I thought it would be quick, and then I'd return home and continue life as usual. But what I didn't know was that this day would mark me forever. During the procedure, my body reacted terribly to the anesthesia. My lungs stopped, my heart stopped, and for 20 minutes there was no sign of life in me. The strangest part is, I didn't even realize when I crossed that line between life and death. The first thing I became aware of was a strange stillness. I opened what I thought were my eyes, only to see myself lying below. It was me, motionless on that hospital bed, doctors rushing, nurses moving fast, their faces tight with worry. Yet I wasn't afraid. I felt no pain. Instead, I was floating above them, watching from a distance, as if the body they were fighting to save wasn't even mine anymore. I remember looking down and realizing, that's me, but I'm not in there. In that moment, a powerful sense of separation came over me. I understood for the first time that the body is only a vessel, and who I truly am, my soul, my spirit, was standing free, untouched by death. There was no fear, only a gentle pull, like something calling me away from the scene. I didn't resist. I let go and I began to drift, leaving behind the hospital room, the machines, the panic, the weight of life as I had known it. Then it happened. I was drawn forward into what I can only describe as a passage, a pathway filled with radiant light. It wasn't like earthly light. This light was alive. It embraced me, it carried me, and the deeper I moved into it, the more peace I felt. It wasn't just brightness. It was love itself wrapping around me, pulling me closer and closer to something greater. As I moved deeper into the light, I felt like I was leaving behind every weight I had ever carried. Fear, doubt, pain, even the small worries of everyday life. It was as if the light was washing me, layer by layer, stripping away everything that wasn't eternal. I remember thinking, this is what freedom feels like. The tunnel itself seemed endless, yet every step felt like I was being drawn closer to a place that was already waiting for me. And then, in the distance, I began to sense a presence. At first, it was just warmth, like standing near a fire on a cold night. But as I moved closer, I knew it was him. I cannot explain how, but every part of me recognized him before I even saw his face. It was Jesus. His presence was unlike anything I had ever known. He didn't have to say a word. I already understood that he knew me fully, loved me completely, and had been with me all my life, even in the moments when I doubted or forgot him. When he drew near, I felt a rush of emotions. Joy, relief, but most of all love. Love so deep that it reached places in me I didn't even know were broken. I fell to my knees, not because he demanded it, but because my heart couldn't stand under the weight of his holiness and tenderness. He lifted me, and though he didn't speak in human words, his thoughts poured into me like waves. He revealed to me that I had been given a second chance not just for myself, but to carry something back for others. What he showed me first was about prayer. He let me see how weak and incomplete my prayers often were when spoken only from my own understanding. He revealed that sometimes I prayed for things I didn't even truly need while missing things that mattered most. But then he showed me something beautiful, the gift of tongues. He made me see that it wasn't something strange or confusing as I once thought, but a language of the Spirit, a direct connection between God and His children. He showed me that when someone prays in this gift, the Holy Spirit Himself helps shape those prayers into perfect ones, aligning them with God's heart. I remember feeling overwhelmed. How many times had I dismissed it or looked at it with suspicion because I didn't understand? Yet in His presence, all my questions melted. He revealed that this gift wasn't about pride or display. It was about intimacy, about God drawing close to His children in a way words could never capture. As I stood there in that endless light, hearing these truths poured into me, I realized I was seeing prayer itself in a whole new way. It wasn't just a duty. It wasn't just asking. It was communion with the living God. As I remained there in that holy presence, Jesus continued to unfold truths that pierced me deeper than anything I had ever known. He revealed that the gift of tongues was not only about personal closeness with God but also a tool for strength, protection, and unity among believers. He showed me scenes, like windows opening before me. In one I saw a person kneeling, weary and broken, unable to find the right words. Their pain was too heavy, their mind too clouded. But as they allowed the Spirit to pray through them in that heavenly language, I saw those prayers rise like fire, reaching places words could never go. It was as if heaven itself leaned closer. And suddenly I understood. This was how God gave His children a way to pray beyond their weakness. Then He let me see something else. I saw gatherings of believers, small and large. Some prayed in the Spirit together, and I saw waves of light flowing over them, knitting their hearts in unity. He revealed to me that when practiced in humility and order, this gift was never meant to divide, but to strengthen, to build, to release love that overcame fear and doubt. It was a gift designed to protect, to guide, to keep His people rooted when the storms of life grew strong. But He also showed me the danger of misunderstanding. I saw moments when pride or fear turned people away from this gift. Some looked at it with suspicion, others misused it, and in both cases, its beauty was hidden under confusion. He revealed to me that this is why so many churches avoid speaking about it, why so many believers never open themselves to receive it. And then His heart was clear to me. He longed for His people to know that every gift of His Spirit flows from love, and it must always lead back to love. In His presence I felt no condemnation, only a gentle but firm urging. This gift was not something strange, not something to fear, but something precious. A secret language between the soul and God, given to help us stand strong, grow deeper, and walk in unity. As I received these revelations, I felt my heart burning within me, almost as if the truths themselves were being written on my spirit so I could never forget them. It was not just knowledge, it was transformation. I knew my life would never be the same again. I remember standing there, still wrapped in that living light, with every part of me listening to Him. What came next was not only for me, it was for the church, for every believer, for anyone willing to open their heart to God's Spirit. He revealed to me that this gift of tongues was not something new, nor something that had ended long ago, but a gift still alive and active today. I saw the early believers, men and women in simple clothes, filled with fire at Pentecost. They weren't wise by the world's standards, they weren't powerful in themselves, but when the Spirit came upon them, they became bold. Their prayers in that heavenly language carried strength that shook the world. Jesus showed me that it was this gift, along with others, that helped them endure persecution, spread the gospel, and remain united even in times of fear. Then He let me see the present. I saw our churches today filled with so much activity, singing, preaching, planning, building. But He revealed to me something missing. Many hearts were tired, many prayers weak, many lives dry. He showed me that without the Spirit's breath, all our efforts can easily become heavy, even lifeless. And then He revealed something tender yet powerful, that this gift, when embraced with humility, is one of the ways He breathes life back into His people. I saw it clearly. When believers pray in tongues, it isn't noise, it isn't confusion. It is Spirit speaking to Spirit. It is God Himself praying through us what our hearts cannot understand. In that moment, I felt the weight of how much we truly need it. He revealed that through this gift, chains are broken in the unseen realm, wisdom is given when we have none, protection is released when danger surrounds, and faith is built up when fear tries to drown us. But there was more. He showed me that it was never meant to be about the gift itself. The true purpose was always deeper. Love. Everything the Spirit gives flows from love and points back to Jesus. He revealed that when tongues are used rightly, they don't just strengthen individuals, they draw whole communities closer to God and to one another. He showed me gatherings where people prayed together in the Spirit, and it was like waves of healing, forgiveness, and kindness were flowing among them. Walls of bitterness fell, hearts softened, faith grew strong. I stood in awe. My mind wanted to ask so many questions, but my spirit already knew the answer. It was simple. Trust Him. Trust that His ways are higher than ours, that His gifts are good, that His Spirit knows what we cannot know. In that moment, I also felt the weight of responsibility. I knew that when I returned, I could not keep this to myself. This wasn't just about my life being touched. This was a message to carry, a truth to share, even if some would not understand, even if some would resist. Because Jesus revealed to me that in these days, His people need every tool of the Spirit. We need His strength, His wisdom, His fire, if we are to stand firm in a world growing colder by the day. I remember looking at him, my heart trembling, and without words I asked, "Why me? Why show me this?" And though he didn't answer in sentences, I felt his reply deep within me, because his love is for all, and he uses the weak to carry his strength, the ordinary to reveal his glory. As these truths sank into me, I knew that my life would never be ordinary again. I had come into surgery expecting a simple healing of the body, but here I was receiving a healing of the soul. As I lingered there in that place of light and truth, my soul felt like it could stay forever. Every part of me longed to remain in his presence. There was no time, no pain, no fear, only peace and love so deep that I didn't want to let go. But then something began to shift. Jesus revealed to me that my time was not yet finished. He showed me glimpses of my family, my church, and people I had not even met yet. I saw faces, some familiar and some strangers, and he made me understand that they were waiting for something I was meant to carry back. He revealed that the testimony of what I had seen and learned would not only strengthen my faith but also awaken others who had been doubting, searching, or even fearful of the things of his Spirit. I felt torn. My heart cried to stay with him, but his will was clear. He revealed to me that love is not just staying in glory, it is returning when called, even to a broken world, so that others can find hope. Slowly, the light around me began to fade, not because it was leaving me, but because I was being drawn away. I felt myself moving back, almost like being pulled through layers, leaving that perfect peace behind. At first I resisted. My soul clung to him, but then his presence filled me with assurance. "I am with you even there." That promise gave me strength to let go. The next moment I was above my body again. I saw the doctors still working, their hands moving quickly, their voices urgent. My body looked lifeless, pale, and fragile. I remember thinking, how can I go back into that? Yet, in a breath, I felt myself pulled downward, like being placed into a garment I had taken off. The heaviness of flesh wrapped around me, and with it came the sound of machines, the sting of air rushing back into my lungs, and the pounding of a heart restarting after being still for so long. When my eyes opened in that hospital room, the world felt different. The air itself felt holy. I was alive but not the same. The nurses gasped, the doctor looked stunned, but I just lay there, tears filling my eyes, because I knew I had been somewhere beyond words. I had been with him. In the weeks and months that followed, I could not keep quiet. I shared what I had experienced with my church. At first, some listened with caution, others with amazement, but as I spoke, hearts began to open. People who once feared the gift of tongues began to seek God with fresh courage. Prayer meetings changed. Worship deepened. Revival quietly stirred among us, not because of me, but because of what he had revealed. Now, every day I live with a new awareness. Life is fragile, but his Spirit is strong. Prayer is not a small thing, it is heaven touching earth. And the gifts of God, especially the gift of tongues, are not strange or outdated. They are alive, powerful, and meant to draw us closer to him in love. Friend, I share this with you from the depths of my heart. If you have ever doubted or feared God's gifts, I want you to know, they come from love. They are not to replace your walk with Jesus, but to make it stronger, deeper, more alive. If this story has touched you, I invite you to subscribe and join me on this journey. Together, we can keep sharing testimonies that remind us of the power, love, and truth of God. And if you have your own experience or thoughts, please leave them in the comments. Your story may be the very light someone else needs today.